Good day, grade 8. Welcome to yet another class session. Indeed, I am humbled to be with you today. Now, yesterday in particular, we looked at a specific type of sentence. Can anyone remind me? Yes, we looked at simple sentences. Beautiful. We touched on that yesterday. Yes, and I want for us to bear in mind those of you who missed class yesterday, please go and watch the recording. It is important that you do so. All right. So moving along, I want for you to grab your books, your pen, your whatever tool that you need for this session. Go ahead and access those. All right. So I trust that you have done so. All right. So we are looking at a specific topic today. Writing continuation of sentences. What sentence structure? What do you think we're talking about today? Any idea? No? Yes? All right. So we are looking at compound sentences. We are touching on compound sentences. All right. So bear with me as I share with you the specific objectives. All right, so by the end of this session, you should be able to explain the term compound sentence. You should be able to distinguish between simple and compound sentences. Now, this is why I said that for those of us who are not familiar or who missed out rather on the presentation yesterday, ensure that you pay attention to that right after this class. Ensure that you do so. All right. Now we're going to explain the components of a compound sentence. All right. So those are our specific objectives, and we are going to get right along with this lesson. All right. So let me get a new screen. All right, so all this information save. All right, beautiful. Now, for this session, we are going to pay attention to a Venn diagram. All right, so let's go. All right, so with the use of this, I want for you to start think about simple sentences and even compound sentences. All right, we are going to show some comparisons and difference between both. All right. Um. Okay. All right. All right. So I'm just changing the marker. So this would be simple sentences, simple, and this referring to compound. All right. So when we talk about the simple sentences, right, and the compound, what comes to mind? What comes to mind? Let me change the highlighter. All right, so you're saying it has a subject. All right, a subject plus a verb plus the predicate. Awesome. All right, so the subject, verb, and the predicate. We touched on this yesterday, right? Beautiful. Uh, an example. Go ahead. All right, she smiled. Okay. It is also called a main clause. Okay, main clause. Beautiful. Anything about the compound sentence? Do we know anything about a compound sentence? Okay, two simple sentences. Okay. So we have two simple sentences. An example, go ahead. So an example is okay, she smiled. And she what? And she laughed. Okay. L H. Okay, beautiful. All right. So anything else we know? Yes, no, maybe so. All right. In comparison, what do we know about them? They both have a predicate and a subject. All right. So they both have a subject slash predicate. Okay. Mm-hmm. Both has independent clause. So I'm gonna put so independent clause. All right, I see we know something about this. Awesome. All right, so you can take this off. All right, you can go ahead and take this off. Let me get a new board. Let me get a new board. All right, so with the use of that, we are going to pay attention to our chart, our KWL chart, to better assist us, right? Awesome. All right, so K W. All right, so what do we know about compound sentences? Do we know anything about such? Okay, compound sentence, right? You said that earlier, right? It has two simple sentences, right? So it combines of two simple sentences. Mm-hmm. All right. I apologize if my background is a bit noisy, so please bear with me, all right? All right, so you were saying it also use punctuation marks. Awesome. Awesome. So it uses punctuation marks. Okay. All right. Anything else we know about this? All right. So what do you want to know? What do you want to know? Okay. How to use? You're saying, okay, how to identify? All right, so how to identify identify. Yes, beautiful. So how to identify the compound sentence, right? Let me take off the and put compound sentences. Compound sentences. Anything else? Say it again. Okay, so what are the components of the compound sentence? So what are the components of, so CS again, compound sentences, yes? All right, so thank you so much for doing this task with us. All right, so let us jump right into this. All right, so I'm going to share with you a map, right, that is going to assist you in really knowing about the components, firstly, of the compound sentence. So let me just share this with you. This is the thing with this board. It has everything. If you don't click out of it, it is crowded, right? All right, so let's pay attention to this clean sheet here. Let me just get this up for you. All right. Ensure that you take this off. All right, so this would be our compound sentence. COMPOUND. All right, so this is our compound sentence, right? Now, with the compound sentence, what I want for you to bear in mind, as was rightfully said in the previous, with the Venn diagram and also with the KWL chart, what I want for you to take note is that it has two simple sentences coming together. So look at this. All right. So with the compound sentence, you have a main clause, which was rightfully said. It is also known as a main clause for the simple sentence. So we have a main clause. We have a main clause. We have, guess what we have again? We have coordinating conjunctions. Coordinating conjunctions. You can go ahead and spell out the words for me, all right? Coordinating conjunctions. And again, we have another main clause. So we have a main clause, coordinating conjunction, and another main clause. So in other words, we can see this is a simple sentence joined by a conjunction and another simple sentence. Let me just go back to the previous. Where is it? Where is it? The Venn diagram. All right, so look at this example that was shared. Do you realize that you merge it with a coordinating conjunction? For those of us who are not sure about the coordinating conjunctions, remember, you can go back and watch the videos, all right? Talking about fanboys. All right. So let me find this chart again. Right, so continuing. So after that, then let us look at an example using a simple sentence, which is a main clause, right? So let's see, I wrote a letter. Letter. All right, so I wrote a letter. So this would be a complete thought, yes? And then we're going to use fanboy. So we're going to use but, just as an example. So let me just write this here for those of us, a fanboy. F-A-N. All right, so we have a coordinating conjunction using but, right? And another main clause, we're going to add here I did not. Are you following along? Beautiful. So I did not post it. P-O-S-T, that is spelling there. I did not post it. So do you realize here where we have the compound sentence, we have the main clause, I wrote a letter, and then we have a fun boy here, but, and we have another simple, meaningful sentence. All right, so I'm going to allow you now to watch a short video clipping to really explain to you fully about a compound sentence. Please pay attention to this as you listen and take your notes accordingly. So let's go.
Hi everyone and welcome to my class. In this video, you will learn all about the compound sentence. And by the end of this video, you will be a great writer because you will be able to write a compound sentence. Isn't that cool? Well, let's get started. A sentence is a group of words that expresses a complete thought. It begins with a capital letter and ends with a punctuation mark.
Oh, you've said that in all your videos.
Well, I have to mention that because I was going to say that a compound sentence is basically made up of two sentences joined by a comma and a connecting word such as or, but, or and. They tie together similar ideas. The two sentences are not dependent upon one another.
What does that mean?
Well, it means that each one of them has its own subject, predicate, and expresses a complete thought. I like swimming. This sentence has its own subject, predicate, and it expresses a complete thought. My brother hates swimming. This is another sentence with its own subject and predicate. The two sentences are not depending on each other. When do we use and, but, or? We use and to join sentences with similar ideas. We use but to join sentences with opposite ideas. And we use or to show choices. I like swimming. My brother hates swimming. What is the right connecting word to combine these two ideas? Did you say but? I like swimming, comma, but my brother hates swimming. But there is something wrong in this sentence. My shouldn't be capitalized because the sentence does not start with the word my. Emma went shopping. She bought a beautiful dress. So, what do you think the right connecting word to join similar ideas is and. Emma went shopping, comma, and she bought a beautiful dress. This is a compound sentence. Two subjects and two predicates. If you say, Emma went shopping and bought a beautiful dress, you cannot add a comma before the connecting word. And because there's only one subject here, Emma, and the predicate is went shopping and bought a beautiful dress. This is typically a compound predicate, went and bought. The sentence cannot be divided into two sentences. You cannot say, bought a beautiful dress. What makes a compound sentence is two sentences that can stand on their own as an individual sentence. Alex can go to the beach. He can go to buy ice cream. Since he cannot do both activities at the same time, so he had to make a choice. To make a choice. Does that ring a bell? So what is the right connecting word here to combine these two sentences? Or. Now, let's just wrap up. A sentence is a group of words that expresses a complete thought. It begins with a capital letter and ends with a punctuation mark. A compound sentence is made up of two sentences joined by a comma and connecting words. When forming a compound sentence, a comma should be always placed before the connecting word, and the second sentence does not start with a capital letter unless it begins with a proper noun. Well, that's it for now, and I will see you in my next video. Don't forget to watch the playlist.
All right. So I trust that you were listening attentively, right? Any questions, any concerns before we move on? So I'm giving you 30 seconds to think about your questions, your concerns, any such. No? All right. So let me scroll down. All right. So we're going to pay attention to this information here just to shed some more light on this. Let me allow the screen to be bigger so you're able to see the information. All right, so again, when we talk about a sentence, you must ensure that whichever, whether you're writing a simple or a compound, bear in mind that it must express a complete thought. So just as yesterday, we were looking at simple sentences. So that is the first step. But today we're taking it a notch further to compound. So it means that we're having two simple sentences merging, right? Two simple sentences combining to give us a complete thought. Beautiful. So ensure that when you're writing, you express a complete thought. It must make sense. That's pretty much what it's saying. You must write a sentence and it must have the sentence must has a subject and a predicate. And we touched on that already, right? We touched on the subject and the predicate. So the subject, as you know, is really the main idea, the main subject or the noun, and the predicate tells what the subject is doing. Now, a compound sentence, I cannot highlight this no more. The compound subject really has two simple sentences, but this is the new part about it. So ensure that you pay attention to this. Let me put it in maybe blue. That is dark, too dark, no problem. Let me change it to something lighter. Beautiful. So it is combined using a coordinating conjunction, and we know about the coordinating conjunctions. Yes? So we have the for, the and, the nor, but, or, yet, and so. All right? Now, coordinating conjunctions, specifically, they use and, or, and but. So most times when you think about a compound sentence, you're able to use the but, and, or. Let me just go back. Or. All right, so let us look at an example. Example number 1. Sarah was happy and Adrian was gloomy. So Sarah was happy and Adrian was gloomy. Another example here. Put on the television or you will miss the news headlines. So if you don't put on if you don't turn on the television, for sure you're going to miss the news headlines. All right? And I'm pretty sure that you're able to think about your own meaningful sentences, right? Now, finally, in a compound sentence, the clauses are usually joined, which I have already made note of that, by the and, or but. Each sentence or clause can stand on its own as a sentence. So pretty much when we talk about a compound sentence, what I want for you to bear in mind, it's simple, two simple sentences coming together to form one with the use of a coordinating conjunction. Now, are you ready for an activity? Think you're ready for your activity? All right. So for your activity, you're going to write 5 sentences, well, compound sentences. Yes. And you're going to share this in class. So I can give you maybe 2 or so examples of what I'm expecting. All right. I love it when I'm giving activities that I share an example with you, even though we went through this lesson thoroughly. All right, so let's go. All right, so I'm not going to write it on the screen, but listen. All right, so listen to these examples. All right, so the first example that I'm going to share with you. All right, so I came outside, but I did not see anyone. So I came outside, but I did not see anyone. Another one. You should be careful or you will spill the milk on the carpet. You should be careful or you'll spill the milk on the carpet. Would you like to share one with me? Or you don't have to write it. You can just go ahead and share it with the class. Yes? All right. So another one could be, you must wear warm clothing or you will feel cold. You must wear warm clothing or you will feel cold. Now, for your assignment, so wrap up that exercise for me, all right? So for your assignment, what you are going to do, are you talking while I'm speaking, Davian? Davian, that's not nice, all right? So for your assignment, what you're going to do for me, I'm going to provide you with a worksheet. Yes? So I'm going to provide you with a worksheet and you are going to follow the instruction as it says. You're just going to join the sentences together using and or but. So that means the sentence will become a compound sentence instead of a simple sentence. All right, any questions before we go? Any comments? Anything we want to see? All right, it was indeed a pleasure being with you. Bye for now.